Okay, hello everyone. A very good morning to all of you. And today we are just continuing a lecture that we have already started in the last class. That is how we can create templates in C++. Right. So let me share the screen. I have already uploaded the related notes and tutorials in your Google Classroom regarding templates in C++, and that will be modifiable in future. I can add some more extra notes and materials or codes uh, in the same Google Classroom profile. Okay, so I hope the screen is visible to everyone. So we have already started the discussion regarding how we can create templates in C++ or what is templates in C++, what is the advantage of using templates and other things that we have already discussed in the last class. So I just go through what are the topics we already covered regarding templates. So we have covered what is a template, and template is one of the powerful feature in C++. Why we are using template to create a generic kind of programming. We are using this template technique, which can be applied for any number of parameters, for any types of parameters, any types of data types as well. Templates are generally two types. In last class, I already discussed. One is function templates. Second one is class templates. So we have already started discussion about the function templates, and we have seen some important basic codes regarding the function templates in C++. So a function template means we can define a template for a particular function, and class template we can define a template for a particular class. So today we will see a couple of programs regarding class templates as well. So these are the features which I already discussed in the last class regarding the function templates, why we require function templates. Some examples I already discussed regarding function templates. So this is a syntax of defining a function templates. So template, class T type, return type, function parameter, and parameter list. So this is the template function template syntax that we have already discussed in the last class. And these are the programs that we have discussed in the last class. If you remember, in the last class, I have already discussed about the function template of how two numbers can be added with the help of that function add. Uh, uh, and we have defined this function in a template whose template parameter is t. Okay, so whenever we have passed this integer data type as a template parameter, then this addition will be the addition of the integers. When we pass a double data type as a template parameter t, then these two additions will be acting like a double addition. Okay, and accordingly we will get two separate results. One result is given the integer addition output, and another result is given as the double addition output. Okay, this program I have already shown and executed in the last class. And I also executed this program. This is a single functions and two parameters we are passing. So both this program, one thing I don't know whether you have noticed it or not, both this program are generally deals with one generic functions, okay, that actually defined within a function template, and we are using a multiple parameters as an argument. So sometimes the questions will come, can you define a function template with multiple parameters? Okay, so these are the example of a function template with multiple parameters. So instead of you are passing more than two parameters, or two or more than two parameters, if you are passing only one parameter, then it is a function template with only one parameter. Okay, so this is an example. Both this program are the example of function template, creation of function template by passing two parameters, okay, or multiple parameters. So you can pass three parameters if you want to perform some operation on three operands or three variables. Okay. Now I would like to show one more program which is very much similar to the other program, but the objective of this program is different. That in this program we are trying to uh, in this program we are trying to do a bubble sorting. Okay, so here I have written a code that is actually performing a bubble sorting using function template, right? We are performing bubble sorting using function template. So so we have implemented a template function. Okay, the template function name I have given as t. Okay, now within this, under this template function, we have defined one function, is a different function, whose name is bubble sort, right? So I think all of you have remembered the logic of bubble sort, that if we are implementing bubble sort through a user defined function and through passing a parameters, then we have to pass two parameters. One is the array itself, which are nothing but a collection of numbers on which we are performing the bubble sort, and second argument will be the size of the array. Okay, this is the function call and function array passing through a function, if you remember the logic. Okay, now in main code, let's check out the main code. So this logic, I think all of you have already cleared this logic. The same similar logic we can apply. So this for looping, two for loops we have to apply. If you remember in the bubble sort, the first for loop is used to select each and every you can say a pass. Okay, so the entire operation is divided into number of passes, and each and every pass, to select each and every pass, we will use the first for loop, and second for loop is using for the comparison purpose. Okay, for the comparison purpose, that means if you select a pass number 1 and that array suppose contains 10 elements, so there should be total 9 comparison between 10 elements. So that 9 comparison will be implemented with the help of the second for loop, where we have used a j variable. Okay, and if the first element is greater than the next element, second element, if you are doing ascending order sorting, then if the first element is greater than the second element, then we will perform the swapping operation. And if you do the descending order sorting, and if the first element is less than the second element, okay, then we are performing a swapping operation, else we are doing nothing. Okay, so the same logic is applying here. Okay, so if the comparison does not satisfy, then swap function will be called, and swap is actually a function that is actually doing a swapping between two numbers. Okay, now check out the driver code, that is your main function. Okay, how shall I call that template function from the main function? That calling I have already shown in the previous couple of programs. So in the first line, we have defined or declared the array with 5 elements: 10, 50, 30, 40, 20. Total 5 elements are there. So array index starts from a of 0 and it will end into a of 5 minus 1, that is a of 4. And n represent the size of the array. So you can count the size and directly write the size here, or you can use this kind of size of uh, expression to calculate the size of the array. Okay, and this is this statement by which we actually doing the bubble sort function call within the template whose parameter type is class T. Okay, so here we have to mention the data type. So I have already told, this is the advantage of using function template, that we can during the call we can pass any kind of data types on which the particular function will be operated or will be performed. Okay, so these are the two arguments that we have passed. One is the name of the array. If you remember, this is a simple function call. If you remember, when we are passing array through a function, instead of passing the size along with the array name or third bracket, all these things, we have to pass only the name of the function, sorry, name of the array as a first argument, and as a second argument of the function, we are passing the size of the array that we will receive in such a fashion. Okay, and here we simply print the array after sorting. After sorting the sorted array, how it will look like? It will look like in such a way. So here we will print the array. Okay, so if you run this code, this is the original array. So if you run this code, we will get a sorted array as a output. Okay, I hope that all of you have received that output: 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So we will get the sorted array as a output. So our function template has been running successfully. So this is an example, a little bit difficult example compared to the previous two problems. So any problem, whatever, or any program, whatever we have studied or we have practiced till now, we can represent with the help of function template. Okay, I hope this conception is clear to everyone. Now, the second thing that I need to discuss and that a function template can be overloaded. That is an important question. Sometimes it will appear in the examination. It will arrive in the examination that Uh, can a function template be overloaded? Can a function template be overloaded? Okay, that is the question. Yes, the answer is yes. The function template can be overloaded. So a template function may be overloaded either by template function or ordinary function of its name. And in such cases, the overloading resolution is accomplished with 3 points. The first point is call an ordinary function that has an exact match. Okay, call an ordinary function that has an exact match, and call a template function that could be created with an exact match. So these are the points that we have to understood during the function overloading. But from this program, I hope that all of you have understood how the function has been overloaded within a template, right? So uh, here I have created a template. Okay, class X. X is a template parameter for this particular template, right? And here I have defined one function with a single parameter. Look, this is an example of a function with a single parameter, and this is an example of a function with more than two parameters or multiple parameters, right? Or multiple parameters. Now, the void fun is a function which has a single parameter a, and x is a class type, right? So std colon colon cout. So we want that our, so this thing is optional. I have already told in the first class of the C++, if you remember. So you can either give only cout, okay, or you can give this std colon colon cout, the same thing. Okay, that means cout is an object of the standard library header file. So it will actually call outside of this header file by using a scope resolution operator. Okay, so std colon colon cout, right? Now within this we have uh, pass, or we have printed the variable which we have passed as a argument of this function call within the definition of a class template, sorry, function template. Okay, so a is an argument, so that argument we have passed through this call, and it will print here. Similarly, a template which we have defined, and here within this template we have defined two template parameters. One is x, another one is y. So the first will be passed as a template parameter xb, and the second will be passed as a template parameter yc. Now, can anyone tell me, just closed on the previous code. So in this code, everyone look at this code very carefully, which I have already discussed in the previous one. In this previous code, can anyone tell me that in this code, I have taken only one class parameter t, okay, and this one is a normal argument type integer, which is fixed. Why? What is the job of this class parameter t? This t can be integer type, this t can be double type, this t can be any other kind of type. That's why we can use this class parameter t. So in this case, in this example, I have taken two class parameter. Class parameter template parameters, you can say, x and y. Okay, so x represents b as argument and y represents c as argument. So this bc can be any type. So can anyone tell me why I have used two different template parameter here, and why I have used only single template parameter here, and this is the fixed parameter? Can anyone tell me the answer? Why I have not used the two different parameters here? When it means, can we define it as a class T1 and class T2? And can we do like this? Why I'm not doing
So the
this?
array will be of similar data type items. So দুটোর ক্লাস নিলে তো আলাদা আলাদা ডেটা আইটেম ডিনোট করবে।
No. Anyone else? Look, you don't require a template parameter here. Why? Because the size of the array is always integer type. It cannot be float type, it cannot be character type, or it cannot be double type. It is not possible. So that's why I require only one parameter, template parameter, which can be changed into different types. So array can be a float type array as an input array. You can take array as a character type input array. You can take array as a integer type input array. But the size of all kind of input arrays are always an integer type. So that's why we don't use or don't require a template parameter in this second argument. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
But in this case, what I have done, I have created two different template parameters x and y for that particular template, and in the second fun function we have defined, or we have taken two argument of those two different parameters, right? So here I have done the function call. Okay, now you have seen that function overloading take place here. Why? Because in the first case I have both the function names are similar, but their parameters types are different. So in this case the parameter which I have passed, that is an integer type, and in this case the parameters we have passed, that is first one is integer type and second one is a float type or double type. So based on the different types of parameters, we can change the template definition here. Okay, so that is called a template function overloading, or a function overloading using template functions. Okay, so if we execute this code,
স্যার এটা ডট সি ফাইল হয়ে গেছে, ডট সিপিপি হবে।
dot c হয়ে গেছে?
ওই
Oh,
যে।
okay, okay. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay, so three outputs we will see. The first output will represent the value of A. Okay, and second output will represent the value of B, and the third output will represent the value of C. So the same functions, same name functions will be called, but passing with different types of parameter. That's why it will give different kinds of output. Okay, I hope this conception is clear to everyone. So we can implement such kind of program, any kind of program, by using a class, a function template in such a way. Okay, whatever way we have already discussed with you. Now, this is another example. If you see, I'm just showing it. I'm not running it. You will run at your home. I have given that program in your Google Classroom. So this is a program. It is a little bit complex program, but this is a representation of a stack data structure using class template. Okay? So I think you have already learned the concept and the nature of the stack data structure in your data structure class. So how we can use a template function type. Okay, actually this is an example of template class type, not function type. This is an example of template class type, not function type. Okay, I will come into that example later. Okay, because right now I have already covered the template function type example. So first let me discuss with you some simple example of template class type, then I will come into the template function type again. Okay, so now class template. Okay, so class template can also be defined similarly to the function template. Okay, so when a class uses the concept of template, the class is known as generic class. Okay, so till now I have said that the function which uses the concept of function template, those functions are called generic function. So similarly, the classes which uses the concept of class template, they are also known as generic classes. So both of them are actually creating some kind of generic programs. Okay, so both of them are working like a generic program, right? So this is the syntax of a class template. So all are similar with the function template. The syntax is very much similar to the function template. Only under this template, in case of function template, under this template, we actually define function here: void fun, void bubble sort, if you remember. And here in the class template, I have defined the class, only define the class under this template. So class, then class name, then the class bodies you are going to define. Within that, you have to define the class members, either public member or private member, or a combination of both. Okay. So here the same concept, T type is a placeholder name which will be determined when the class is instantiated. Okay. And we can define, means when you are instantiate a class, how we can instantiate a class? Can anyone tell me? I think you should tell me. What does it mean? How we can instantiate a particular class? T type is a placeholder name which will be determined when the class is instantiated. What do you understand by class instantiation?
When we create an object of the class.
Yes, very good. When we are creating the object of that class, that means we have initiate or instantiate the particular class. Okay. So from where we actually create the object, generally we prefer to create the object from main method, where we actually calling the class or invoking the particular class. Okay. So in the main method, just like similar function template, we are calling this class template by using a particular type within the class template within this angle bracket. Okay, and then we're actually creating the object, and that by the help of that object, we are calling the particular class. Okay, so we can define more than one generic data type using a comma separated list. The T type can be used inside the class body. Okay, how we can use T type, that we will see. So when we create an instance of a class, this is the syntax within the main method where we actually creating the instance, where we actually doing the class instantiation. Okay, so how we can do the class instantiation? The similar strategy we will need to follow. First will be the class name, then within the angle bracket, the type, integer, float, double, what kind of template parameter type you are going to pass, and then the object of the class, by which we are actually initiate the class, particular class type. Okay, so here the class name is the name of the class, type it is the type of the data that the class is operating on, and OB it is the name of the object. But in case of function initiation, if you remember, here we will give the function name, then the type, and here we have given the first bracket, and then we are passing the parameters. If the function has parameters, we are passing it. If the function doesn't have parameter, then semicolon will be ended here. Okay, if you remember, we have done in such a way, right? Now, so let's see some examples of a class template, how we can define a class template. Okay, let's see some example. So this is an example of how you can create a class template, and I have actually created a calculator class here, which will perform the operation like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay, these 4 operations we are performing inside that class, and here we have created a class template whose parameter is t. Right now, within the calculator class, we have defined 2 data types. Okay, the first data type, actually these are the members of the class, if you remember, and these 2 are actually you can say the class access specifier. So within the private member, private access specifier, we have defined 2 variables. Okay, num1 and num2, and both are the representing the type parameter t. So we actually define or defining the type of this num1 and num2 at the time of invoking of the class. Understood? I think you have understood these things. T is a parameter, a template parameter, which actually receive any type during the invocation of the class. Okay, and then under the public access specifier, we have called this one. Can anyone tell me what is this? Is it a method? What is this?
Constructor.
Yes, very good. It is a constructor. So if anyone will ask you, can you write a class template program where you are going to use a constructor by, or you can say a class template program using constructor. So this is an example. Okay, this is an example. So so this is a calculator template, right? Now within this calculator constructor, now within this calculator constructor, we have passed 2 parameters, n1 and n2. Okay, similar to this, but this is actually a you can say a constructor, and it is under the public domain. Okay, so again the t is a template parameter type t, and this t is actually working like a template parameter. So this whatever value we are passing during the call of the constructor, that will be stored into the local variable of that class type that you have defined t. Okay, now so we actually define one more functions here. That is this is a function. Okay, this is a constructor of this class calculator, and this is a function of this class whose main job is to display call the corresponding function, add function, subtract function, multiply function, and divide function. And these are the different functions that I have defined. So all these 5 are actually functions. But what is the difference between this display result function and these functions? The difference in the return type. Look, the return type is still not yet fixed. The return type is actually depends on the while you are invoking the class using the template parameter t, then the return type will be also fixed at that time. Okay, and the rest of the operations will be performed within this class. Okay, within these classes. Now go into the main method. Now within the main method, what we will do? First, we'll have to invoke the constructor. Okay, so calculator is a class name. Then the type of the template parameter integer that we actually mentioned within the angle bracket, and then int cal c, int cal c. Acha. So this is the object. Okay, object of this class calculator. Int cal c is the first object which actually performing a calculation operation on integers. So we have to pass two integer value 2 and 1. So on which parameters this 2 and 1 will be passed? Through the parameter of this calculator n1 and n2. So right now the n1 value is 2 and n2 value is 1, right? And what is their type? Parameter type? Integer. So this is the first call. Now whenever it happens, what will be the current value of num1 and num2? The current value of num1 and num2 is n1 n2, that is 2 and 1, right? So then after this, by the help of this object, we will call this function itself. So whenever we will do this one int calc dot display results, automatically this function will call its corresponding 4 functions: add function, subtract function, multiply function, and divide functions, which will perform addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division operations respectively, right? In such a way, and each and every cases, the corresponding parameter will be integer type. Template parameter will be integer type, which we have already defined during the call of this function, during the initiation of this function. Look, in the PPT, I have already told, right? When you are going to initiate the T type, when you are initiate the class or instantiate the class, and this is the statement, these two are the statement of instantiation of the class calculator. So this is the first instantiation for the integer calculation operation, and this is the second instantiation for the float type calculating operations. So the similar job we are doing by creating a float calc object, and this float calc object will actually display the display results. Okay. So if we run this code, these are the outputs. So 2 and 1 we actually passing through the integer type of template. Okay, and it will perform all the 4 operations for you. And then for the float type of template, we are passing 2.4 and 1.2 as arguments. So it will pass all kind of float operations for you. So this is your calculator operation using template. Okay, in such a way. Anyone has any confusion, any doubt, you can ask me. Any kind of doubt you can ask me. Try to clear the concept. Concept is very important. Any kind of doubt? Any kind of problem? So you can replace the complexity of the program. If you don't want, then you don't need to declare the constructor. Okay. Within the method, you can directly pass the parameters. Okay. Within the method display method, whenever you are calling the display method, at that time you can pass the parameters. But here I am passing the parameters because I have defined it in a constructor. And what is the job of the constructor? The job of the constructor is it will helps you to create the object of a class, and it will actually also doing some kind of declaration and initialization of the parameters or of the variables while we are declaring the constructor there. Okay. So anyone has any doubt? Tell me. Anyone has any kind of question? Try to clear the concepts. So can you make a differentiation between function template and class template? Can you do that? Function template and class template. Anyone has any confusion? Ask me. If you have any kind of confusion, ask me. Anyone has any kind of confusion?
No, sir.
Is it clear to everyone? What about the lateral people? What about the lateral peoples? Tell me if you have any kind of confusion, any kind of problem, please ask me. You have to clear the concepts, okay? Because any program in the examination, it may be asked by using a template, okay? So some programs regarding pointers, you have to practice using templates. Some program on function and array, you have to practice using template, okay? Some program using constructors, class, object, you have to practice using template, okay? So in all type of program, you have to practice using templates. So both kind of templates, function template as well as class template. Obviously in the examination, the question will be explicitly mentioned that you have to use class template or function template. So don't worry about it. If they don't mention, then you can use according to your choice. You can create according to your choice. Tell me, anyone has any confusion? Anyone? Lateral people? Is it clear to everyone? Lateral people, are you there? Miraj, Sorashish, Sushmita, Annisha. Anyone lateral people is there? Anyone is there? Okay, so I hope that all of you have understood these things. So now our main focus is to clear our concepts a little bit more regarding this class template by getting in touch with some other kind of programs. Okay, so the next program that I want to show to you, this is a very simple one. Actually, this program I should have show you earlier. This is a very simple one. I have uploaded all this program. So C++ template with multiple parameters. So here, so in function template, we have seen if we use multiple parameters, how we can define the similar kind of concepts that we will if we define a class template by using multiple parameters. Okay. So here the multiple parameters of the class template has been used, and this parameter has been defined such a way. The first variable one is T type template parameter. Variable 2 is a U type template parameter. Variable 3 is a V type template parameter. Okay. So there are three kind of template parameters. Okay. Now within a public domain, we have actually creating a class and calling the constructor. If you remember, this kind of constructor calling I have already shown in the previous class, but this constructor doesn't have any kind of body. Okay, the function, the constructor body is this particular constructor body is blank. Okay, so there is no constructor body. Okay, this is simply you can say a default constructor I have called, not default because default constructor doesn't have any argument, but this constructor has an argument. But we can say that this constructor has no body of implementation or body of execution, right? Now within this template, class template, we have defined one simple function, that is print var function, which returns a byte type. Now within this function, we have just printed the three kind of variable 1, variable 2, and variable 3 respectively. Okay. Now within the main method, what is our approach? Our approach that within the main method, we have to pass the parameters T, U, V like this. Okay. So within this main method, we have passed only two parameters. So create object with integer, double, and character type. Okay. So we have passed two parameters, class template int comma double. Okay. So you can ask me, sir, why you are not writing here comma character? Because here, if you notice, I have already defined the character as a last class type parameter. Okay. So you can also define like this. If I don't define it as a character type parameter, then you can use comma and write character as a third parameter. Okay, it is allowed, right? But I have already defined it, so we don't need to again invoking it or define it during the call. And here I have using the object, and within the object means we actually calling the constructor here, class template constructor, this one. Okay, and the first value for v1 will be 7.7, second value for v2, that is a double type, will be 7.7, and the third value for v3, that is a character type, will be c. Okay, and now in the next statement, we simply, by the help of this object, we are calling this function printvar. Similarly, in the next class, we have actually defined this double type, character type, and boolean type. Now we are saying, sir, if you have already defined character type here, then how boolean type is working? Can anyone tell me? If I have already defined character type here as a template parameter of v, how this boolean type is working here? Like, will it work or will it give some error? What do you say? Anyone? Anyone give me the answer? Will it work or will it give any kind of error? What do you say? Any one of you can give me the answer. Try, just try. Here I have passed 3 parameters, right? Template parameter. First template parameter for t will be double. Second template parameter for u will be char. And third template parameter for v will be bull. Bull means boolean type. Okay. But here during the template definition, I have already declared the v class parameter type as character. So will it execute successfully or it will give some kind of error? What do you say?
So it will give error.
What about others? Anyone else? Okay, let's execute the code. So it doesn't give error. Check out this one, second one, because I have created for the object 2. So check out the second one. The first value is 8.8, second value is a, third one is false. 0 means false. Okay, it will give the output. It doesn't write false string as a boolean output. It is gives 0 as a boolean output and 1 as a true output. Okay, 0 for false boolean output and 1 for true boolean output, just like C. Okay, in Java it will give the string as output. In Java you will get the enter string false or true as output. Okay, so the program is running successfully. So boolean is working fine. So what do you understand from this code? So it is clearly understood that this during the call, whatever parameter type you have mentioned during the invocation of this function or a constructor within the template, that will be actually override whatever you have defined during at the time of function template creation. Understood? It will simply overwrite it. So the privilege of calling this during the call, the privilege of this template parameter will be more than the privilege of the during the definition or during the creation of the template parameter. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Anyone has any kind of confusion? So that's thing I need to show you in this code, that how a C++ class templates can be created with multiple types of parameters or different types of parameters. Okay, so I think you can understand, so each and every time during the call of this function or the constructor, I can change the types of the parameters. Accordingly, our function or our class will be executed. Okay, that is the very beautiful advantage, or you can say the beautiful execution strategy of these function templates or class templates. Okay. Now, let me show you another one. So these two I have already shown. So let me make it cross. Another one that is pretty much simple for you, that I need to show you, that again a class template, and how we can pass two different. Actually, I don't need to show this code. I think you can understand this code by yourself. Okay, because this code is nothing very special. It is simple a class template definition or creation. Within class template, we have defined private parameter, private variable num as a t parameter, part of t, and public variable. This is actually a constructor call. Okay, this is actually constructor call number whose variable type is n. Okay, this is actually a constructor call, and this is the function within the constructor, right? So num of n, and now this is a simple a function call. Okay, simple a method call, a general method, a normal method call, whose return type will be a template type parameter t. So these three should be activated during the call of the particular class using object of within the main method. So first, within the main method, we have to create the object of this class number, and while we are creating the object, automatically this constructor call will be made, right? So here we have written the class name, then followed by the type name, then number int. Number int is actually a, a object name that we actually using, and along with this creation, the corresponding constructor call will be occur. And here we actually perform, we actually passing 7 as an argument or as a type parameter, which will be received, which is also integer type. So all the t will be replaced by int during this call. All the t means template parameter will be automatically internally replaced by a integer parameter, right? So this 7 will also working like an integer, okay, and it will simply return the value 7 here, okay, because after this call we actually make a call of get num in both by the help of both the objects. So you can also do these things, it's your choice. So if you are getting confused, you can also do these things. That means first you are going to create object number int for the integer type of the number class, and then you are going to create an object for double int number double for the double type class, okay. So if we execute this code, the output will be given in such a way. The first one is a result for a integer type number execution, and the second statement is a result for double type of number execution. That is the overall logic that we are applying here. So in the previous program, we actually extend this logic in more complex way, and there is a simple one by which we actually creating a class template and calling the corresponding constructor and function using that class template. Is it clear to everyone? Anyone has any doubt? Tell me. Anyone has any confusion, any question, you can ask me. Up to this, is it clear to everyone? Any kind of question, any kind of doubt? Tell me, any kind of doubt? Any kind of question from anyone? I have uploaded all these codes into your Google Classroom. Okay, you can go there and check, and you can give me a reply if you have any kind of doubt. But you have to practice it. Understood? Because syntax is little bit it's different, because you didn't use this kind of syntax in C programming language, because there is no concept of template, class template, or even function template in C. So in C++, you are using this concept first time, and this will be the last time, because in Java also there is no concept of class template. Okay. Is it clear? Tell me. Give me a response from your end. Is it clear?
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Huh? Yes.
Sir, what you have done in the public method?
In the public method, we have simply called the constructor, and we have done nothing. Only we have initialized the value. Okay, only we have initialized the value within the constructor, and we simply after that constructor method, we have make a call, make a definition of a simple normal method get num, where we actually return that value that you have actually given as a 7. Okay, so the 7 is actually storing within num. So if you get any kind of confusion here, I understood that this code little bit confused. You are making it yourself confused. So you can do this way. It is also allowed. Constructor public, huh? It is also allowed. I hope so. Num is declared as t. T is a T is a T is the integer type. So still now it is not defined. We have to declare in such a way, right? We cannot do in such a in a previous way, like num equal to n. We cannot do in such a way, because here while I am performing num equal to n, that t was not declared yet. That's why it is given error. Okay, so here we have to use a single colon, and then we have to give the name of the variable which we have defined as a private in the previous case, and then we are passing n as a variable. That 7 is actually passing within that n variable, and then that n is automatically assigned into that num variable. So this assignment is working in this case in such a way. Understood? The num equal to n. The same concept is actually applying in such a way in this case.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Actually, this is a special case that we are using in case of template. Okay. So if you are not using template, then we can do num equal to n, because constructor is capable enough to handle that that private variables. Okay. But here we are doing template, so the t is not mentioned yet. That's why it cannot assign here directly. Okay. Okay. So I hope that you have understood all these things what we have discussed today. So practice it, and we will continue our discussion regarding this template.